The iPhone 17.
Here we go again.
Probably one of the most anticipated phones of— Shut the f— This is literally the biggest heist done by Apple since maybe last year. Okay, a new model is coming.
What's up?
Higher refresh rate.
I'm down.
But $200 price increase.
It does look like there is the potential that Apple could increase the prices for the very first time in, I'd say, about 8 years.
The iPhone 17 is 2 months away, as most of you know, and to be specific, the 17 will be released on September 9th at the Apple event. Along with the Apple Watch Ultra 3, the AirPods Pro 3, and the M5 MacBook Pro. Of course, that's aside some yapping about Siri and Apple Intelligence. And it's kinda getting better. The pre-orders will start on September 12th and officially drops in stores on September 19th. Next, the pricing. Now, I know that some of you live outside the US, and the fact that you see only $7.99 in Apple events, that only applies to customers inside the US, where iPhones are cheaper compared to other countries. So, with the new hike, you probably need to sell both kidneys to buy the upcoming 17. However, if you are in the US, you probably heard about the word
Tariff.
The good news is that phones are generally exempted from that. Thank you. So no 30% hike on the next iPhone. The bad news, however, Apple already planned this increase even before these tariffs. The price of the base 17 model will start from $849. The Pro model will start from $1,099, and the Pro Max, and some say the Ultra, will start from $1,299. Of course, these numbers—
excuse me, you forgot the Air.
Oh, yes, and the 17 Air will start from $999, and that's Apple's new strategy, making the $849 the new normal, and that without including the state's taxes.
But hey, maybe the upgrades deserve that.
Let's see. And starting with the base 17 model. And I think by that time, we all know exactly how the next iPhone 17 will look. The base 17 will look the same as the base 16, with the same limited color choices, but with the addition of the green and purple option. The screen size will also upgrade from 6.1 to 6.3 inches. On the contrary, the thickness will go from 7.8 millimeters in the 16 down to 5.5 millimeters. I'm not an expert, but Apple had better be thinking about the outcomes of this combo. The 17 and 17 Air will also feature the 120Hz refresh rate screen, which means an always-on display, same as in the Pro models. Apple is also starting to make some changes to the dynamic island by making it smaller for all models. And that's a great sign. Apple is finally trying to innovate something better. For the chip, many sources speculate that the base 17 will have the new A18 chip. However, that's clearly wrong. Apple has a general rule that applies to every release. The base model of any new iPhone always gets the same chip from the previous Pro model, meaning that the base 17 will get the A18 Pro chip, same as in the 16 Pro Max, while the 17 Air, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max will get the newest A19. For the camera, the whole iPhone 17 lineup will upgrade from the 12-megapixel front camera in the 16 to a 24-megapixel front-facing camera, which translates to better selfies and higher image quality. The 17 will also stick with an 8GB in RAM, with the same 3 storage options, and with no news on the 1TB. However, for the battery, it won't also change from the 16.
Excuse me? Are there any news about the Mini?
No. And no news about the Mini this year.
No!
Although that's one of the most requested models from Apple, and many fans are desperately crossing their fingers for that smaller size. But as I said in a previous video, the biggest flaw in the Mini is its battery, and until today, Apple is still struggling with this problem. The Google Pixel— Wait! Still not subscribed? Come on, bro. All you have to do is
follow the damn train!
Like and subscribe. The iPhone 17 Air will be the biggest upgrade this year. And I said upgrade because that's originally the Plus Looks Max to the Air. The design is great, and I love it. However, if the news about this model is right, that will be a disaster. The 17 Air will be lighter in weight, larger in display, and thinner in size. Combine that all, and you get a model, not a phone. Because logically, if the whole lineup will support 120Hz Hz refresh rate and always-on display technology that will require a bigger and powerful battery. For the base 17, that's kinda easy task, but for the thinner 17 Air, and with news of Apple relying on a 2800 mAh battery, same as it was in the 12, that becomes a problem. Of course, and to be fair, according to Apple Track, Apple will compensate that with an AI integration or a smarter battery, meaning that your phone will track your app usage and try to cut off unused apps and features. The thinner size, beside making it easier to bend, also caused the ditch of the ultra-wide camera lens, leaving only place for the main 48-megapixel camera. According to leaks from McRumors, the 17 Air will not feature a bottom speaker, meaning that the sound will only rely on the earpiece speakers. And I'm not quite sure on this one. Sure, Apple is greedy, but it never sacrifices quality for money. The chip, unlike we said for the base 16, will be an A19, and that's to assist in the smart battery usage. The RAM and storage will also feature the same 3 options as in the base 17. And I think at this point we all have the same question.
iPhone 17 Air, less battery and less cameras. How do you charge more for it?
So, we'll stop today's video here, so we can discuss the Pro models in the next one. Let me know if you liked this new style. Don't forget